Even though Robert Griffin III, Robert, RG3, has a point, there's also some truth to what Coach Stefanski is doing. I'm gonna make my point there, then I'm gonna come back. Coach Stefanski knows that it's going to take time.
That's true.
You have to have grace with growth. When you have a situation that you have in Cleveland where you traded your veteran quarterback, now you're forced to be in this situation where you have to be.
Cam Newton just dropped a bombshell, and Cleveland might need a fire extinguisher for this one. According to him, Kevin Stefanski's quarterback vision is still as blurry as a 2016 Snapchat filter, and after all this time he still can't pick the right QB. Now Cam is suggesting that the future of the Browns might already be circling the drain before Shedeur even gets his shot. It's a juicy situation, and things are about to get very awkward in Cleveland.
I still think he likes him. Because every chance he gets, he shows it. Well, Coach, you guys are getting your ass kicked. You don't put your backups in? That's not my focus right now. When it comes to Shedeur, like, he gets serious. I was tripping for a little bit. So I said, let me watch his other interviews. And his other interviews about other questions from other players, it don't be like that. And I'm trying to think, okay, so you got a rookie quarterback, right? That everybody keeps talking about. If you don't think the brother's that good, let him go out there and show it. But I think he's scared that if Shedeur goes out there and looks good, he might not look like he know what he's doing. Because why you been ain't play this young quarterback? See, the problem, you can't break him. Right. I talked to Shedeur. I know how you can't break him.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you think. Cleveland has officially entered that stage of football denial where everyone insists there's a plan, yet no one can explain what it is. And now Cam Newton, of all people, has stepped in to hold up a mirror and say what everyone else has been avoiding. The Browns' so-called quarterback strategy looks less like a vision and more like a caffeine-fueled group project that never got finished.
That the worst thing that you could do is alter a person's confidence by putting that person on a short leash.
Yeah.
What he's trying to do is give all grace to say, hey, this is your team. This is your job to lose, right? But here's my question to Coach Stefanski. How long are you willing to wait? Because if we keep losing games, what are we really doing?
Yeah.
Because for sake of conversation, it ain't like Shedeur Sanders or Bailey Zappi can do any worse. Y'all still losing.
Yeah.
Somehow, after years of heartbreak, trades, and hope that barely lasts a week, Kevin Stefanski still can't pick a quarterback to save his clipboard. It's like he's standing in front of a revolving door labeled franchise quarterback, watching names spin in and out while mumbling something about trusting the process.
Stefanski is now saying, over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. He won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. There's just a principle involved here where at least you acknowledge that by default, Flacco is now gone. Shedeur moved up a slot. He's second on the depth chart. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shedeur. I guarantee you Bailey Zappi is now, and they're not putting it up on the website. I guarantee he'll dress at Pittsburgh and he will be second in command at that position. This is Kevin Stefanski showing you once and for all, I didn't want to draft him. I don't like his attitude. And above all, he fears his father.
Cam didn't have to shout it. He just painted the picture. Stefanski is stuck between wanting to show patience and not wanting to look like the guy who turned patience into unemployment. The man is walking a tightrope while juggling 2 footballs and an unemployment letter, hoping no one notices the rope is already starting to fray.
It seems personal. It might not be personal for Kevin Stefanski, but it appears personal. And it's one of those situations where it's like, Kevin Stefanski, we don't care what you're telling us because your actions speak so loud, we can't even hear what you're saying. Your actions speak crazy loud. Like, if Shedeur Sanders was favored in your eyes, one, you'd speak better than saying, that's not my focus. What the hell you mean it's not your focus? Roster construction is your focus. The backup quarterback is your focus. Backups on the roster are your focus. Everything that dictates who plays in the game on Sunday, Kevin Stefanski, that should be your focus. How can it not be your focus? Furthermore, 2-5. Stefanski knew he was going to get asked this question.
Cam isn't wrong, and that's the real issue. Stefanski's problem isn't cluelessness, it's caution. He's giving his quarterbacks all this grace for growth, which sounds poetic until you're sitting through 3/4 of incompletions pretending it's some character-building exercise. This is the NFL, not a TED Talk. The Browns traded away their veteran safety net, so now the plan seems to be hope for the best and look busy. Stefanski's unofficial motto might as well be, "It's your team until it's not," which works fine until the scoreboard starts looking like a math problem nobody studied for. Cam's logic is brutally simple. Grace is cute, but losing gets loud. You can't preach patience in a city allergic to winning streaks, and the longer Stefanski waits, the faster that ticking in the background turns from a gentle reminder into a countdown strapped to his coaching career. Eventually, "we're figuring it out" becomes "we don't actually have it figured out," and rebuilding starts to sound a lot like "we're just bad but with paperwork." And somewhere in that chaos sits Shedeur Sanders, quietly waiting like the plot twist everyone keeps whispering about. He hasn't taken a single snap in Cleveland, yet he's already part of the gossip. Cam tossed his name into the mix like, "Hey, y'all are losing anyway. Might as well see what you've got."
To the quarterback after, only 9 points are scored and how the quarterback did. Can you just address, and especially because of your situation with Shedeur and so many people clamoring for him and wanting to see him, do you have thoughts on how the offensive problems are run much deeper right now than quarterback, and that switching out the quarterback might not solve what you have going on here?
Yeah, I think just the big focus for us, Mary Kay, is we have to be better in all areas, players, coaches, you name it. Obviously, Dylan is in his second start.
And honestly, it's hard to argue. If the current quarterback situation keeps looking like a car stuck in neutral, what's the worst that could happen? Another loss. Please. That's practically Cleveland's love language at this point. Even Bailey Zapp's name is floating around now, which tells you everything you need to know. When the backup's backup starts trending, it's no longer strategy. It's panic with a playbook. It's like the Browns are in a cooking competition and somehow still burning water, while the head chef keeps insisting the recipe is fine. And while Stefanski is busy trying to protect his starters' confidence, the rest of the league is basically shrugging like, "Cool story, bro. Let us know when that confidence starts scoring touchdowns." Cleveland fans don't want speeches about growth. They want results, or at least the illusion that progress exists. But here's the funny part. Stefanski's dilemma isn't even about who plays quarterback anymore. It's about who he trusts to sync with. He apparently shares the same agent as a handful of college coaches who once had ties to Dylan Gabriel, and suddenly the whole situation feels like an episode of NFL Conspiracy Files.
It's the question that every Browns fan is asking. Why won't Kevin Stefanski give Shedeur Sanders a shot? The offense can't score, the quarterback room's a mess, and the one guy with the energy and leadership is stuck on the sideline. Getting ridiculous. At this point, in my opinion, I'm believing Kevin 100% do not believe or even like Shedeur. That's why he's doing it, and it looks like he's making it personal. I don't know why he's making it personal, but it seems like he is making not playing Shedeur a personal thing and not a logical coaching move to help the.
So now the whispers begin. Is Stefanski's loyalty to his system or to his network? Because if you're picking quarterbacks the way someone hires family members, that's not scouting, that's nepotism with a game plan. At this point, Cleveland's playbook might as well come with a LinkedIn login. But jokes aside, that connection raises a bigger question. Is this about football decisions or career insurance? When coaches start choosing quarterbacks that keep their agents happy, it stops being a team and starts looking like a PR agency with helmets. Still, Cam's point cuts deeper than the gossip. Stefanski's problem isn't just picking the wrong quarterback. It's pretending any quarterback could succeed in that offensive chaos. You could throw Shedeur, Bailey, or even Prime Peyton in there, and they'd still be tossing into the void because no one's catching, blocking, or remembering which side of the field they're supposed to be on. It's not just bad quarterbacking, it's bad football. And while grace with growth sounds noble, the scoreboard doesn't award moral victories. If Stefanski keeps preaching patience while fans keep buying misery, It won't take long for someone in the front office to realize patience doesn't sell tickets.
Even when they come and say things about Shedeur Sanders, all you have to do is say, look, I get it. Shedeur has a very, big personality and he's known globally, right? But I know Shedeur Sanders as a person, and as what I see here. He works hard, he's intelligent, he puts the work in, he's humble, he's a great teammate, and all of those things. I hope you guys get an opportunity to see that eventually when he gets on the field. And guess what? It would diffuse all bad articles and people would go away. But since you won't say his name, the vultures circle.
The real comedy is how Cleveland keeps turning potential into purgatory. Every season starts with promise and ends with post-game press conferences full of the same recycled optimism. It's like watching a romantic comedy that keeps skipping the happy ending. Stefanski keeps insisting he's building something, which would be fine if anyone could figure out what that something even is. From the outside, it looks like he's been rearranging the same puzzle pieces for years without realizing they came from two different boxes. And yet, there's something almost poetic about it. Every game is another second of his coaching life ticking away. The irony is brutal. He built an offense meant for control, but he's losing control of everything that matters. And when Cam says that ticking might be a bomb, you can almost see the smoke rising because once the fans turn, it's over. Cleveland's crowd has the patience of a microwave. They'll chant your name one week and demand your resignation the next. So Stefanski is trapped, too cautious to make a bold move and too desperate to stay predictable. He's babysitting his quarterback's confidence while his own job security disappears like free beer at a tailgate.
Nothing new. We seen this in training camp, man. He was overthrowing, throwing interceptions, and not reading the defense in training camp. So like I said, I'm thinking it's more personal with Kevin now, not to play Shedeur. You sit here and gotta pick a player in the third round when he projected the fourth, the fifth, the sixth round, and then you had a player projected to be in the first round, and you draft him in the fifth round. You gotta prove that Dylan Gabriel, all that talk you said, is your guy.
Meanwhile, the locker room is probably wondering the same thing everyone else is. When's the change coming? And if it's not at quarterback, is it at coach? Because Cam dropped that subtle line everyone felt in their bones. Maybe it's not just the quarterback that needs replacing. Maybe the whole playbook needs a reset button. But here's the cruel twist. Cleveland isn't exactly a dream destination for fresh talent. That offensive roster doesn't scream quarterback heaven. It's not about arm strength or swagger. It's about a system that seems allergic to momentum. And that's what Stefanski doesn't seem to understand. You can't keep auditioning quarterbacks for a broken playbook. It's like swapping drivers when the car doesn't have wheels. Eventually, you have to admit the problem isn't behind the wheel, it's under the hood. Cleveland's offense looks like a collection of talented pieces that never got introduced to one another. The receivers run one direction, the quarterback throws another, and the offensive line is basically doing interpretive dance. Every drive feels like a blooper reel unfolding in real time.
Kevin Stefanski full of shit. That's the type of coach that you talk about instilling confidence into your players. How you think that makes Shedeur feel? I don't know who the backup is? Yeah. You got to be kidding me. You really gonna bring up Bailey Zappi from the practice squad and make him the backup over me and I've been on the active roster? Either Kevin Stefanski thinks Shedeur Sanders is Magic City parking lot, straight ass, or he just don't like him. This is the perfect example of take all your confidence away from a player. He must got some pictures or some evidence on Jimmy Haslam. Like, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know who the backup is. Bro, listen, players in the locker room that like Shedeur off of that comment, they don't mess with Kevin Stefanski. They don't fuck, because you are really...
The fans can see it, the analysts can see it, and even the opponents can see it, and they're enjoying every second. The Browns' play calling has become the NFL's best free entertainment, like watching someone microwave a frozen pizza over and over and still act surprised it's cold in the middle. But let's not pretend Cam is roasting for sport. Under all the humor, he's holding up a warning sign that says, "Fix this before it's too late." Because if Stefanski keeps riding this train of mediocrity, it's going to derail spectacularly, probably on live television. And he's right, that ticking isn't just pressure, it's accountability getting louder. Every incomplete pass, every wasted possession, every "we'll get him next time" adds another beat to the countdown. Cleveland starts hopeful, spirals into frustration, blames the quarterback, changes the quarterback, still loses, then blames the coach, changes the coach, rinse and repeat. It's an endless sitcom with no finale. Cam didn't expose a scandal. He exposed the truth everyone's been politely dodging. Stefanski is playing chess in a room full of people who barely understand checkers, thinking long-term strategy while the scoreboard keeps screaming short-term failure.
Guys, can we stop asking these questions? Y'all know this man don't want to play Shedeur.
You know that. People, we know that. And people,
Yeah.
I see people, in the chat, not in the chat, but just in general, when we talk about the Cleveland Browns, they talk about,
Yes.
damn, what's the word? When they don't like someone and they doing them wrong. I forgot the word to use. But listen, we already know what the play was. They didn't want him.
And maybe that's the saddest part. You can tell Stefanski means well, that he believes in his system, but belief doesn't buy you time in this league. Wins do. Right now, the Browns' record doesn't reflect faith. It reflects confusion. Every "we'll fix it" speech only makes the silence afterward louder. Cam's breakdown hit harder because it came from someone who knows the quarterback grind. He understands confidence, patience, and the fine line between development and disaster. Essentially, he's warning Stefanski. Keep playing nice with failure, and it'll start feeling comfortable. The cruel part is they'll probably realize it eventually. Just not with this setup. Every time you think Cleveland has hit rock bottom, they start digging. It's almost admirable in a way. A franchise so committed to chaos that even time seems afraid to move forward. Every year the same cycle. New hope, same heartbreak. And now Cam's comments have thrown gasoline on the fire because once someone like him says it out loud, it stops being a rumor and becomes reality. Suddenly, everyone's watching Stefanski like he's a contestant on a survival show, waiting to see which bad decision gets him voted off next.
Look, if y'all don't understand that Shedeur Sanders is being racially profiled, you know what I'm saying, in the NFL, then you don't understand. Kevin Stefanski is definitely trying to make sure this man's career does not flourish. He don't, how Dylan Gabriel as a QB2 got first team reps and everything. Shedeur, he's QB2, and you don't give it to him. Like everything that somebody got to step in. Something has to be done. Browns fans, y'all need to boycott Cleveland, the football team, completely.
And when it happens, it's never quiet. It comes with headlines, locker room leaks, and that awkward press conference where everyone suddenly talks about a fresh direction. Maybe Cam wasn't trying to embarrass Stefanski. Maybe he was offering a lifeline. Sometimes the only way to save your job is to stop protecting it. Cleveland doesn't need more explanations. They need execution. They don't need another sermon about trusting the process. They need proof that the process actually works. Until then, it doesn't matter who's under center. Shedeur Sanders, Bailey Zapp, or even an unsuspecting fan from Section 112, they're all just passengers on a ship still taking on water. And if Stefanski doesn't plug the holes soon, the next tick of the clock won't signal the next drive. It will signal the end. In Cleveland, the line between patience and purgatory is just one more loss away. And if Cam Newton is right, and history suggests he is, that ticking sound everyone hears isn't hope. It's a countdown.